Hello, this is Family English Language Improvement Center for Mr. Kabada. So I'm going to present a new lesson which is Introduction to Linguistics, which is the key component of pronunciation practice that's called speech sounds. What are speech sounds? Let me define what it refers. Speech sounds are sounds which consists of consonant sounds, the vowel sound, diphthongs and triphthongs. So these are very important or crucial importance for one's pronunciation. If you use these speech sounds effectively, our communication will be effective. If our pronunciation is ineffective, our communication will be still ineffective. So this is the basic ingredients of one's pronunciation. So let me start from this one. What speech sounds are? The first speech sounds are consonant sounds here. The consonant sounds. And the second one is vowel sound. Vowel sounds. And the third is diphthongs. And the third one, the fourth one is triphthongs. Triphthong sounds. These are the four speech sounds. The first is consonant sound, and second is vowel sounds, and diphthongs and triphthongs. We totally have these speech sounds, which are the key components of one's pronunciation. So here we'll try to see one by one what consonant sounds and how do we use consonant sounds and how can we pronounce consonant sounds. How many different types of consonant do we have and implement in pronunciation? And what are vowel sounds? How do we use consonants, vowel sounds, and where do vowel sounds are produced? What are the speech organs which produce vowel sounds? What about diphthong? How diphthong is different from vowel sounds and consonant sounds? What about triphthongs? What are the component, the integration of these separate vowel sounds? And how many triphthong sounds do we have? We'll try to see these speech organs one by one. Totally, we do have 24 consonant sounds. 24 consonant sounds. And here, vowel sounds, which is called the pure vowel sound, the long vowel sound, the short vowel sound. We have 12 vowel sounds. The third one is triphthongs, two individual vowel sounds from different direction of the tongue can meet and can go together and pronounce it as diphthongs, which is called two vowel sounds. Yes, we have 8 diphthong sounds. And triphthong sounds, 3 vowel sounds meet each other and go together and pronounce it in words and phrases. We do have at least 3 to 5 triphthong sounds here. 24 consonant, 12 vowel sounds, 36, 8 diphthongs, 44, 5 and triphthongs. We do have at least 48 or 49 speech sounds altogether. Using these 49 speech sounds, which we practice and pronounce correctly, please. So let me just see the first part of sound. That's consonant sounds, please. The first is consonant sounds. Yes, consonant sounds. How can we produce these consonant sounds, please? And where do we produce these consonant sounds? So what are some of the parameters that we use to produce these consonant sounds? One, parameters here. Parameters. The first one is in terms of manner of articulation. Manner of articulation. And the second is place of articulation. Place of articulation. The third one is voiced and devoiced or unvoiced. Unvoiced. To pronounce these consonant sounds, our parameters are for here. One is manner of articulation. Look here, these are manner of articulation. What manner of articulation means? It basically focuses on how speech sounds are produced. Right? How and when the speech sounds are produced. How speech sounds are produced. When the sounds are voiced and devoiced. And the third one is how the airstream mechanism, whenever we produce these consonant sounds, that's called manner of articulation. We focus on three things here. How these speech sounds are produced, whether the speech sounds are voiced or devoiced, and about the airstream mechanism. Totally, manner of articulation refers about the characteristics of sounds whenever we produce these consonant sounds. That's called manner of articulation. For instance, the first sound is P sound here. Do you think this P sound is voiced or devoiced? Where does the airstream mechanism produces whenever we produce this P and B sounds? And also, what kind of sound do we produce whenever we produce these P and B sounds? We totally called manner of articulation, right? The second parameter is place of articulation. When you say place of articulation, where are the speech organs whenever we produce these consonant sounds? Place of articulation refers about where these speech organs are produced. Where the speech organs, some of the sounds are produced in around the buccal cavity, some sounds are produced around the nostril cavity. These speech organs can be grouped, that's called place of articulation. This horizontal lines refers about where the sounds are produced. This vertical line refers about manner of articulation. The characteristics of sounds whenever we produce the 24 consonant sounds, place of and manner of articulation. The third parameter is, do you think this sound is voiced whenever we produce P sound? What about B sound? Is it voiced or devoiced? Voiceless and voiced sounds. What does voiced mean? There is a vocal folds around the trachea here. Vocal folds. When the vocal cords touch each other, we produce voiced sounds. Yes. When the vocal folds far apart each other, they do not touch each other, voiceless sounds are produced. So we pronounce these consonant sounds in terms of voiced, devoiced, or unvoiced sounds. These are the three parameters of pronouncing the consonant sounds. Yes. So we'll try to see this international phonetic alphabet in terms of the three elements of measuring or pronouncing the consonant sounds here. The first one here. The first place of articulation here is bilabial sounds. What's bilabial mean? When the lower lip touches with the upper lip, we produce the bilabial sound. What about labiodental? Labiodental, two speech organs touch each other and we produce labiodental. When the lower lip touches with the upper teeth, labiodental sounds are produced. The lower lip touches with the upper teeth, that's called labiodental sounds. This is another place of articulation. And the other is dental, we can say that interdental. The lower teeth touches with the upper teeth, which is dental and interdental sounds are produced here. And the other, the alveolar ridge. Alveolar, when the tip of the back of the tongue touches the hard palate, that kind of sound is the alveolar ridge. Alveolar, back of the tongue touches with the hard palate, that kind of sound is the alveolar ridge. We can say in Amharic, the other kind is called post-alveolar. Post-alveolar, the back of the tongue touches with the soft palate. The soft palate, which is at the back of the hard palate, the sound produces the post-alveolar. The palatal here, the palatal sound is the back of the tongue touches with the soft palate. That kind of sound is the palatal sound here. The palatal sound. Velar, the root of the tongue touches with the soft palate, yeah? The root of the tongue touches with the soft palate, the sound that we produce, the velar sound. The only glottal sound is the S sound, which are produced around the uvula or which is called around the trachea. That special and unique sound is the S sound, yeah? This one that I'm discussing is the place of articulation. The place of articulation. I think that's right. In terms of plosive, in terms of manner of articulation, we can just categorize the sounds into, I think, 4 to 5 manner of articulation. The first sound is plosive. Whenever we produce these P and B sounds completely closed and released. So that kind of sound is stop or plosive. The air is completely blocked. The air passes from the lung to the buccal cavity, which is completely closed around the buccal cavity and released. The sound produced is plosive. Let's take an example. Po, p, b, p, b, t, d. Closed and released. Complete closure of air and released and breathed. So that kind of cross is called the plosive. The other kind of sound is fricative. Fricative, air is not completely closed, but whenever we produce this fricative sounds, air passes through the sides of the tongue, so that kind of sound is the fricative sound. Fricative sound. This is the characteristic of how the sounds are produced. Fricative. Fricate, ተሽለክላኪ ድምጾች ማለት ነው። ሙሉ ለሙሉ አየር ሳይታገድ ድምጾቹን ስናወጣ በምላሳችን ጎንና ጎን እየተሽለከለከ ይወጣ ድምጾቹ fricative sound እንላቸዋለን ነው። The other sound is affricate or affricative sounds. Affricate. The only affricate sounds are, I think, three processes can be passed whenever we produce the affricate sound: the chi sound and the chi sound. Chi and chi sound. There is a friction between the hard palate and the soft palate and the back of the tongue and the root of the tongue. So they are producing, or the sound produced are the affricate sounds here. Friction of hard palate with the back of the tongue, friction of the soft palate with the root of the tongue. The sound that we produce is the affricate, but air is not completely closed here. The other sound is a nasal sound. The nasal sound, air passes from the lung to the buccal cavity is completely closed, and air passes through the nostrils. The nostrils means the nasal cavity. That kind of sound is the nasal sound. Nasal. Air passes through and the venom just go downward and close. Air passes through the buccal cavity and air directly passes to the nostrils. So the sound that we produce, the nasal cavity. Take an example here. No, impossible to produce the nasal sound because air is completely closed through the nostrils here. So when you fire the air pass through the nasal cavity, so the sound produced. Thus, nasal sound, trill sounds, trill. Just air just the tip of the tongue passes through or touches the hard palate to the soft palate. The tip of the tongue touches or just have in contact with the hard palate, through back to the soft palate, and the sound produce the r sound. That's called trill. The only trill sound is r sound. ላሽ ድምጽ እንለዋለን። ላሽ ድምጽ ማለት የምላሳችን ጭብ ከላይኛው ሸካራ ድዳችን ወደኋላ ለስላሳውን የድዳችን ክፍል እየዳሰሰ መጥቶ የሚወጣው ድምጽ ር ሳውንድ ይባላል። ይሄ ነው trill ማለት። The other is lateral sounds. Lateral sound, the V sound and the alveolar sound. The other sounds are an approximant, which is called the ye sound. Yeah. These horizontal parts are called in terms of manner of articulation here. In terms of manner of articulation, we have totally 24 consonant sounds here. 24 consonant sounds here. Let's try to just write each phonetic distribution of the sound is here. One is, look here. Let's try to write the phonetic description. I don't mean the phonetic transcription. Phonetic description of the sound is here. So the first one, it can be written as like this, the sound, please. So the sounds can be written as in slash here, in slash just like this. This is called the sound. In Amharic, this is the sound, yes? በአማርኛ ስንጽፈው በሳውንድ ነው ፒ አይደለም ነው። ምክንያቱም ኦርዲናሪ ስፔሊንግ እና ሳውንዶች ኖ ኮረስፖንደንስ ምንም አይነት ግንኙነት የላቸውም። አንድን ቃል አንድን እንግሊዘኛ ኮሚኒኬት ለማድረግ የግድ ፕሮናንሴሽኖች ማወቅ አለብን። መነሻችን ደግሞ ስፒች ሳውንዶች ናቸው። እነሱም ኮንሶናንት ሳውንድን በአግባቡ ስናነብ ኢፌክቲቭ የሆነ ኮሚኒኬሽን ልንፈጥር እንችላለን። እነዚህን ሳውንዶች በደንብ ካላነበብን ኢፌክቲቭ የሆነ ኮሚኒኬሽን ልንፈጥራችን ካልፈጠርን ደግሞ ፑር የሆነ ኮሚኒኬሽን ነው የሚኖረን ወይም ቋንቋውን አልተጠቀምንበትም በአግባቡ ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ይህን ሳውንድ ስታወጡ ፕ ሳውንድ ነው የምንለው። in terms of manner of or place of articulation, and manner of articulation, and voiced or devoiced ብለን እንከፍለው እስኪ voiced or devoiced ብለን እንከፍለው እነዚህ ሳውንዶችን እናያቸው። ለምሳሌ ሳውንድ ባይላቢያል ነው። place of articulation ባይላቢያል ትሉታላችሁ። bilabial here, and bilabial what kind of manner of articulation? Plosive ነው ወይም stop ትሉታላችሁ። stop ነው። devoiced voiceless ነው። yes, voiceless ነው። Look here to check whether the sound is voiced or voiced or devoiced. Touch the lower chin here. Touch the lower chin. The vocal folds are far apart each other. Not touch each other. So voiceless. Voiceless. Very simple checking. Touch the back of the spinal cord. Touch here. The ribs here. You can test whether the sounds are voiced or devoiced. Take an example here. B sound here. B. Voiced. Exactly. You can simply identify whether the sounds are produced and voiced and devoiced. Here is voiceless. Look here. Phonetic description of the sound P. Bilabial sound, stop sound or plosive sound, and voiceless sound. Exactly. So we pronounce the P sound in terms of these parameters. እነዚህን ድምጾች ስናነብ አሁን በጻፍኳቸው ዲስክሪፕሽን መሰረት ነው ፕሮናውንስ የምናደርጋቸው። ከዛ ውጭ አንችልም ማለት ነው። ለምሳሌ ብ ሳውንድ ውሰዱ። ብ ይሄ ስታነቡት ብ ሳውንድ ብለን ነው። ባይላቢያል ነው፣ ስቶፕ ነው፣ ቮይስድ ነው። ይሄው ቮይስድ ነው። The first sounds are voiced, whereas the second sound is voiceless here, and this one is voiced. And the other T sound ልውሰዷቸው። T sound ይሄ ብል ትጽፉት T ብላችሁ ብትጽፉት T sound is alveolar ነው። alveolar ነው የምታወሩት ይሄን and voice man stop ነው። voiceless ነው። And what about the D sound here? D sound ብለን ነው የምናወጣው። alveolar stop voiced. What about the K sound here? ስትጽፉት K sound ብላችሁ ነው ይሄንን ጀለስ ቬላር ሳውንድ ነው። ያ ቬላር and stop ላይ ነው የምናገኘው and voiceless ነው ይሄ voiceless ብላችሁ የምታወጡት። What about the D sound here? D sound ነው የምንለው velar, stop and voiced here. Look here, volar, stop, voiced here. So we can just write the phonetic description of the 24 consonant sounds here. Here is D sound, velar sound, place of articulation, manner of articulation, stop, whether voiced or devoiced. That's called voiced, whereas K sound is voiceless. Let's count the first sound here. First sound, since the first sound ነው ኤንዳቢዮ ደንታል ብላችሁ የምታወጡት ላቢዮ ደንታል ነው። and this is fricative ትሉታላችሁ። fricative and voiceless here. voiceless ብላችሁ ታወጣላችሁ። what about V sound here? V. This is labio dental, fricative, voiced. Voiced. You can just write all the 24 consonant sounds in terms of their place of articulation or their manner of articulation. That's clear, please. ይሄ ነው። ስለዚህ እያንዳንዳቸውን 24ቱንም ድምጾች በዚህ መልክ ነው ካራክተሪስቲካቸው የምንጽፈው። እንደዚህ ጻፍናቸው ማለት ፕሮናውንስ ማድረግ እንችላለን። ስለዚህ ምን ማለት ነው? ይሄ ማለት ድምጾችን ስታነቧቸው ይሄ ፕ ሳውንድ ብለን ነው የምናነበው፣ ብ ብለን ነው የምናነበው፣ ት ብለን ነው የምናነበው፣ ድ ብለን ነው የምናነበው፣ ፒ ዲ ክ ኬ ኬ ኤፍ ብለን አይደለም የምናነባቸው። ይሄን ስፒች ሳውንድ ብለን የምናየው በዚህ መልክ ነው። ፕሊዝ ሌትስ ፕራክቲስ ኢት ፕሊዝ። እስኪ አንዳንድ ምሳሌዎችን እያየን How can we pronounce the word is here? How can we read? Let's start the first one, the P sound here. If P sound comes at the beginning, and here is firm, and the other at the middle, please. Pulpit, and pepper at the end of the word here, at the end of the word. And plum, and camp here. How do we pronounce these words whenever the sounds begin with at the initialization of the word is here? Pain, stress, emphasis upon inaudible. Pain, pam. Lu is silent here. Pam, but the sound is emphasis, stress here. When the P sound comes between the consonant sound is here. Puppet, puppet. What about paper, paper? A little bit stress, but not high stress with the initialization of P sound here. What about this? Plump, plump, plant, completely unstressed when P sound comes at the end of the word here. Plump, plump, plump. We cannot say plump, no. What about camp? Camp, no wrong pronunciation. Camp, camp, unstressed. So what do we understand from this pronunciation? When the P sound comes at the beginning of the word, we will give high emphasis here, which means P sound will be stressed. When the P sound comes either between the two words, in the middle of the words, a little bit stress. When the P sound comes at the end of the word, completely unstressed. So we can just practice in pronouncing for the sounds just like this. Second one, the B sound here. The B sound, for instance, your bag, and here is book. Between the sounds here, between the sounds, cable and cable and table, at the end of bomb and count. Look at the three positions of the sound, B sound here. B at the beginning of the word here is bag, 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 stress. Here is book, 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 stress. Here is between the two, the word is here, cable, 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 stress. What about here? Table, table, table. Yes, right, pronounce it. What about if the sound comes at the end of the word here? Bomb. We cannot say bomb. No, bomb, bomb. What about here? Come, come, come. Unstressed or do not give high emphasis for the sound B sound. High emphasis, emphasis, no emphasis. B comes at the beginning, middle, and at the end of the word here. What about the T sound here? Here is thin, temper, and here is what about and here is tent, not tent actually. A bottle, bottle, and here is bottle, kitten, kitten here. And what about student? Student. President. Let's check it please here. Let's check how we pronounce the T sound here. When the T sound comes at the beginning is here, 10, 10, 10, right. Emphasis, high emphasis. What about here? T sound, timber, timber, high emphasis, right. And then burden, 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 right, high emphasis or stress here. What about kitten, 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 right pronunciation. What about if the sound comes at the end of the word here? At the end of the word. In American English, the T sound comes at the end of the word. It is commonly silent. And in British English, it's not silent, but we pronounce the T sound here. Student, student, student. T silent here. Student. What about here? The president, president. We cannot say president. We cannot also say student, no, wrong pronunciation. Student, a student of Family English Language Center. The President of United States of America, right pronunciation. Interview, interview. In American accent, interview, right. In British accent, interview, interview. There is a difference between an American and British pronunciation, British accent is here. So totally I want to show here, these sounds are key to pronounce words and phrases and sentences correctly. Let me give you examples of phrases and sentences using these speech sounds, especially for the consonant sounds here. The consonant sounds. Once more here, phrases here. Board ደረጃ ናቸው በሐረግ ደረጃ እንዴት ነው የምናነበው? እንደዚህ ለምሳሌ here is P sound ላይ እንምጣና here is the pay All right. Hampers. And here is and the B sound. And here is notebook. And the T sound. And here is $10. And the G sound. Fish fighter and old dog. Let's press here. Sentence and phrases here. Right? Our intention is the sound. The pain is mine. The pain is mine. The pain is mine. Yeah, this sound right focus on the so pain is fine. The pronounce it the pain is mine. Yeah. The palm is okay. The palm is okay. The palm is okay. Little silent until can be pronounced right pronunciation. This sound, the book is new. The book is new. The book is new. It's my book. The book is new. An old version of books. And here is new book. Right. That this sound have timbre or $10. Right. The dog is fish fighter. The dog is fish fighter. The dog is fish fighter. Right accent. Right pronunciation. I'll talk. Yes, I'll talk. Old dog phrase. So we can just practice pronouncing these sounds on this way, please. ቃላት ላይ በሐረግ በአረፍተ ነገር ደረጃ እነዚህን ድምጾች በዚህ መልክ የምንለማመድ ከሆነ ፕሮናንሲዬሽን አትሊስት ወደምንፈልገው ደረጃ ሊመጣ ይችላል ማለት ነው። That's right. So ይሄን መንገድ ነው ተከትለን ፕሮናንስ ልናደርግ የምንችለው። ይሄንን ሊያጠና የሚችል አንድ የእንግሊዝኛ ዘርፍ ሊንጉስቲክስ እንለዋለን። ሊንጉስቲክስ ነው። ስለዚህ የሊንጉስቲክ ኢንትሮዳክሽን ፓርት ነው አሁን እየተነጋገርን ያለ ነው። ይሄ ቬሪ ኢምፖርታንት ነው። ቅድም መግቢያ ላይ እንደተናገርኩት በጣም ኢምፖርታንት ነው። እሱን በተደጋጋሚ ነው መለማመድ አለብን። ሁለተኛ ቪዲዮ፣ ሶስተኛ ቪዲዮ ይቀጥላል። እሱን ለማየት እንሞክራለን። ምናልባት አንዳንድ ኩዌስችንስ ለምሳሌ እንደዚህ ባስቀምጥ try to just describe this sound ብላችሁ አሁን እኔ describe this sounds and this sound ብላችሁ and these sounds እነዚህን ሳውንዶች እስኪ ዲስክራይብ አድርጓቸው ብትባሉ አንደኛ ናሳል ነው። ይሄ ሳውንድ ናሳል ሳውንድ ነው። ናሳል ሳውንድ and manner of articulation ናሳል ነው። ባይላቢያል ነው። ባይላቢያል ነው and voice sound ብላችሁ አስቀምጣላችሁ ማለት ነው። እዚህ ሳውንድ አሁን ናሳል ነው ግን ምንድነው ፕሬስ articulation alveolar ነው and voice ነው። አሁንም ይሄ ናሳል ሳውንድ ነው። እንግ ሳውንድ ቬላር ነው and voice ብላችሁ አስቀምጣላችሁ ማለት ነው። ይሄም ናሳል ሳውንድ ናሳል ሳውንድ ባይላቢያል ነው and voice ነው። all nasal sounds are voice ናቸው። የሰረ ድምጾች ሁሉ ጊዜ ነዛሪ ናቸው። and this sound nasal sound ነው። manner of articulation ነው። alveolar ነው ፕሮዲዩስ የሚሆነው voice sound airstream mechanism voice ነው። what about the eng sound here? eng sound ነው የምናየው። eng sound ምንድነው? ናሳል ነው። ቬላር voice sound ብለን እናወጣቸዋለን። voice sound ነው የምንላቸው። ሌላው ለምሳሌ ይሄን ሳውንድ ዘስ ሳውንድ ፍሪኬቲቭ ነው። ይሄ ሳውንድ ፍሪኬቲቭ ነው and what about here? ደንታል ነው የምትሉት። ደንታል ትሉታላችሁ and voiceless ነው የምትሉት። voiceless አሁን ይሄ ምንድነው? fricative. when you say fricative means manner of articulation and the dental place of articulation airstream mechanism voiceless. So this sound is that sound here. So this sound here fan thief that bath. You can pronounce on this way, please. Yeah. Anyway, these are one of the key important or components of pronunciation tips. Yes. I think this will be the end of this talk, this presentation, and I hope I will continue the second part of speech sounds. If you have any comments, please try to comment using my address. Thank you anyway. Goodbye.